this will be a set like a webinar with this information here, but hopefully any question that you didn't take note of, you can go back and it will clarify for you, and it will help you out, okay? Okay, first of all, everyone here should have picked up their transcript. That is up to date as of like yesterday or the day before yesterday. If there is an error with your transcript, and I'll address it, you need to come see me. It's something you have to talk with me, otherwise, etc. But there's certain concerns about your transcript. First of all, high school graduation. A lot of people were asking about the PE credits this summer as well as currently this year. If you are taking all 4 years of band, you're okay for PE. Ignore that you're missing PE credits right now in the credit summary. It'll be okay by the time you graduate, okay? So that's okay, but I wanted to address that. Secondly, I have talked to the people who have not have had, still have health, regardless of if you finished it at a program or not. If it's not mentioned in your credit summary health, for this part right now, your privilege has been blocked until you bring me the updated health information or you take that class or whatnot. If I missed you in this past week, please come see me to make certain that you are taking a course or something to address your health credit. Please don't wait till second semester when things get fun and your block privileges prevent you from participating in senior activities, okay? Another thing I mentioned in registration time, but I don't know how many of you guys saw it, and I did email out to you guys too, is for college purposes, you need a year-long, it's really highly recommended, a year-long visual performing arts credit. What that means, if you only had band 4 years and you never played a sports or athletics or anything or PE, that band doesn't really count for a year-long art credit because the band, you're using it for half a year for PE, half a year for art, so it's not a year long. You need to take an art credit. If that's you still, in case, come see me today or the next 4 days before schedule change can no longer happen, okay? Community college transcripts. If you want it to be included in your high school transcript, September 30th, you need to bring the official sealed transcript. Seal me, don't open it and seal it back. It has to be taped, okay, to either myself or to Ilka. And on that note too, some of your teachers in the years past have said, or like last year said that they're making some grade changes. If they haven't done so, please push them and or say that it's up to September 30th, because what happens after that, we send the imaging to the, we use this eDoc kind of program. That image is only sent once. We're going to copy it, upload it, and that's the transcript we're going to send to your colleges. We will fix it again one time in mid-years after this first semester senior grades, but during that time beforehand, we're not going to do it. It's, it's a hassle, so please make certain that it's accurate through to your junior year. General information about transcript requests for scholarships and Common App schools. There is a transcript green paper that looks like this, and if you would like it for scholarships, for public schools, if the public colleges are requested, and non-Common App private colleges, you're going to fill out the green transcript request form. It's found on the rotating kiosk where you find the schedule changes and things like that. You fill it out, give it to Ilka, and then give her a day to process and give it to you. All you have to do is pick it up at her desk as well, okay? If you need an unofficial transcript, then just get it from the ABI. That suffices. For scholarship purposes, for things like that, it's always free. It's always free for scholarships, okay? For application things, I'm going to talk about the fees. The first two are free for application for certain programs or whatnot. Thereafter, each transcript or SSR, we'll talk about SSRs, costs you $7. That means every initial, mid-year, as well as final transcript or SSRs costs you money. You'll receive a final bill in June. Every year, juniors get surprised. You're like, what? Why am I getting a bill? It's for all the transcripts or processing that you've asked for. It's part of your senior obligation. If on the spot, to Ilka, you're like, I need the official transcript right now and do it right now, and she has to do it within the period like that and stop all her work, it's $9 on the spot for each transcript you want, okay? And she keeps tabs of that. Cal Grant paper, as you came in, Ms. Gallardo has asked you to pick up this green Cal Grant GPA information paper, release information authorization. If you already did it this summer and turned it into Mary, please just on your way out, leave it here for the next group to pick up. You only have to fill it out once. But those of you who have not, then please fill it out as soon as possible and give it to her so she can update it and you can be eligible for free money at colleges, okay? You can decline if you want to not participate in this, but at least give her some form paper saying, hey, I don't want the free money, and then give it back to her, right? So she doesn't have to like ask you to release the information because she has to do that for her bookkeeping. Okay, what are secondary school reports? We call it SSR. Basically, it's a 2 to 3 page paper online now. It could be also on paper, but we do it online, which is only required by private schools. They have different forms called counselor letters, sometimes like counselor referral. We process it through Naviance and their affiliated program called eDoc. Okay, so we're doing this all online because it makes life so much easier for everybody. In order to initiate eDocs for private colleges, you must first register on commonapp.org and obtain your username and password. The caveat to that is that your Common App password and username needs to match your Naviance username. I know originally you guys had something at Gmail, Yahoo, etc., right? All you have to do is drop it. Drop that portion. So first go to Common App site on the website and then register if you haven't done so. And then when you go to Naviance, the Family Connection, where it says Manage Account, go to that and change your username. If you do not change that, it'll be different people and then we're blocked. We can't send anything electronically. And it puts a hold obstacle. So if you do that, it will alleviate a lot of things in for us. You also next have to consent to the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act regulation, the FERPA consent. How do you do that? You log on to Naviance, click on My Colleges, click the college I'm applying to, and there's a little check thing. It looks like this, right there. You say, yes, I do waive my right, and by completing this, I authorize at the school to release my transcript and any documents necessary for me to apply to the schools. When you do it, it goes like this, green. Yay, green. It's like, go for us. I can continue processing your things. When you decline, I get this red marker, and I can't do anything. I can't upload anything. So then that's the end of your college application process. I can't do anything anymore because you refused for me to release any transcripts. It's your right. That's it. We can resend it in like resent consent. We'll fix it again. But basically, you have to authorize it, just like this paper. You have to authorize it for us to help you apply. So just make our life easier for not us to call you out again. Say yes, yes for first time, and then we can just continue on with the application process. So how do you request specific secondary school reports for colleges, private colleges? Well, on Naviance, you're going to click on the college, Family Connection colleges, college I'm applying to, and just click on the add to the list. You have to verify whether it's Common App. If it's a Common App, there will be a little bit icon, and the icon will say CA. CA. That means that everything can be electronically sent. If the school doesn't have a little icon that says CA, then you have to download the paper forms or give me a different link or something so I can process your request. Otherwise, I don't have access to sending it, or I don't have the paper, things like that. Then we must go to the old paper route, or we must use a different form of communication. Okay. So anyways, from your Family Connection, it says right there, the little icon says Add College List. You just click on that, and then it comes up, and you can either click and tag on all the schools you want to, or type it in. What is included in your SSR for private schools? Obviously, the SSR form where we evaluate certain things and grade you on that. Our school profile about your SATs, ACT grades, your AP grades, our school, like how you were selected, your GPA, the number of APs, honors that you've taken, all that good stuff. A copy of that is on our school website if you have never seen that. So please check it out. We will also, we meaning Mr. Gutierrez and I, will also put in a letter of recommendation for you for that college, depending on, I'll tell you later on the different slide, as well as the official transcript. So an SSR with a private school automatically has a transcript in it, eDocs. Please don't go to ILCA and ask for another transcript request. If she does that, you'll be charged twice, because she had to go through and manually create this thing for you to send off. It's already sent in there, so don't worry about that. And finally, we do send in a letter explaining our grading period. And I want to say something about that. Every year, because our school on the West Coast start school later, like in the late September, and and schools on the East Coast, they start early in the August and they end like May. Our grading period is different. Our mid-years come out mid-February. Other schools and high schools and they end in January. And so you'll get notifications to you and your parents saying that we never got your mid-years, you're late. Over the years I've been doing this, that is very common. Do not be stressed. I cannot create your grade report until mid-February because your teachers did not submit your first semester grades. Does that mean that you're not going to go to college? No, but it's an automatic reply to you that your application process is going to be incomplete. They'll contact you by email. Do not stress. Do not tell me that your mid-years has not been sent in. I know that. It's not going to affect anything with your admission things because you know how your alums have successfully entered colleges too? You will as well, okay? Don't come and tell me and parents have meetings and say, what's going with the process? That has never, ever prevented anyone here from getting into their school, okay? But again, first semester ends like end of January, February. The grade report of the district doesn't release it till like mid-February. We will send it out mid-February to the end of February. It'll be fine, and you'll still get college acceptances, okay? But we do send a letter saying that, hey, we started school this late, we'll end school this late, and we have no issues with that. But please don't tell us that mid-years have not come in. Okay, talking about early application, because that's around the corner. Some of you guys are interested and ready and to apply. I have forms here as well for at the end of the meeting for you to pick up if you want to, or you can download it on our website. We have an early application contract. It is one early application, regardless if it's binding or not binding. And the big rationale is that we have limited resources here, as well as we want you to make certain that you have very much committed financially as well as academically to know that is your first choice of school. So if you're doing QuestBridge, that's counted as one early. If you're doing any early action or early decision, that is just one early. Just every student gets one process of early thing, okay? If you have multiple schools that you're interested in applying to, great. Please do it in a regular time when we have more time to do it. But as you can tell, like, I'm working on national merits, and then by September 30th, we'll know if whoever wants to run it early, and we have just a month to do all those early. Give us the 3 months to work on the other 100-something kids, okay? That's why. That's the biggest rationale for that, we tell parents. And then also, when the early schools contact us, we can really advocate that this is truly their first choice, that it's going to be fit, or whatnot kind of thing, okay? Student advisors. I know last year you were split up in different, like 25 groups to meet with either Mr. Glonchak, myself, or Mr. Gutierrez, Mr. West. But we this year split it up alphabetically, and that's why you should be here, A through K, Y, and Z. I am going to do the SSR interviews as well as any like scholarship things for A through K, Y, Z, and national merits, because I already started with those students. Okay? So any of those information that you need to, please give it, you're going to meet with me. L through X, that's Mr. Gutierrez. Okay? So if in this group, I know somebody already mentioned that they were doing QuestBridge or something, or they started giving information to Mr. Gutierrez. That might have been true in the summertime, but give me copies of that if you fall under A through K, Y through Z, or you're part of the national merit crowd of people. You will have to fill out a letter of recommendation request questions for us, and that will help us tremendously, because when I interview you, sometimes people can't express verbally all that they wanted to say about themselves, and they kind of shy away because they're very humble about what they've done. And we've found in the past years that when you write things, you can very much feel comfortable articulating what you've done and how well you've accomplished certain things. So for the SSR, for regular thing, last date of request will be October 21st, okay? Especially through until the January 1st deadline. Thereafter, we'll open it up again. If you're going to apply later on for February, then we'll do the next batch. If you change somewhere around that line, things like that, we'll do it after we process and address all the people who want to apply to through January 1st. Okay, and that system has been working really well for the past 3 years. It just made it very streamlined for us. The 4 questions you have to bring written down, and you have to write it down in third person, as well as giving anecdotes, examples as much as possible, are 1, how have you grown academically as well as personally over the high school time period? Please do not concentrate on your elementary time or junior high time. Focus on your high school years, okay? 2 is what are 2 activities that are meaningful to you? It doesn't have to be academic. It could be outside of school. It could be anything that has been meaningful to you that is appropriate. I've had students write about certain topics that it might be very personal, but it's not appropriate. And I kind of mentioned about that. And if you have questions about what's appropriate, you can come and talk to me about that too. I'm always shocked but meaningful, okay? I want to say that for the SSR, those 2 activities should be activities that you're not going to write about in your statement. Really, you're not going to focus too much. We can talk about, really, it should be something you want us to highlight, add. So you have to strategize. What you're saying, what I'm saying, what the other teachers are writing about should not be repetitive. It could overlap a little bit, but we're adding new insight, new information in your application packet. 3 is very important. That's why if you do a good job, then we can also express why that particular college is your fit. How will you add value? What contribution are you going to bring to that university? If you have, do not say, I'm interested in attending this program because it has this great film and art program, and I'm going to get this and this and that. You're selling me the program of the college. You're not selling to me why you are going to do well in this school, why particularly that school. Okay, I don't need a brochure of that school. I already see the professional brochure or videotapes or whatnot, okay? It's about you and your contribution. It's very difficult. If you can't convey it to us, how are we supposed to be able to come, express it to the schools too? And the last question is, what makes you special? What makes you special? Okay, we answer that. Okay, so what it is, and this one I just go over really briefly. It's really detailed. You don't have to take notes. It's really detailed. Again, a copy of it will be placed online for you guys. Is that beginning of October, we have this huge calendar out in our offices. And what you're going to do is have different dates and different time appointment sets. You are going to sign up. You're going to get teacher permission to be out of that class that period time. Ultimately, your teachers have the say-so whether or not you can come and meet me. If you cannot meet me or Mr. Gutierrez another time, find another time slot, please. Okay? You bring that you bring the paper and any forms that you need during that interview time, and the morning of your interview, we'll also have call slips. You just pick it up, and so that you'll be ready to come with your call slip and show your teacher before you come see us for your interview times. It'll be online, so you can look at the directions. It has worked really well. Don't miss your time. If you miss your time because of your forgetfulness, you missed your time. If you miss your time because you're legitimately ill or some emergency, we'll understand we will schedule. But we don't have the time to reschedule 80 of you guys again and again repeatedly. So if you miss it, that's it. For teachers' letters of recommendation, some of you guys already have been coming to ask me about it. Last year, I asked teachers to give me copies of what they wanted for letters of recommendation. And what I did is I compiled about 8 to 10 of the teachers, what they wanted, and put together one form for all the teachers. And then we put it out actually a week ago. This letter of recommendation instruction is also online for you to follow. It's just the beginning of it. There's 3 parts to it. You give them all the information, type it out, and then they can choose whether or not they want to send it electronically or by, some teachers are very still comfortable by paper and the mail thing. So that's the last portion of it. Just follow it. And the courtesy is to give them 6 weeks. They're planning to write your letters on top of, in the evenings or the weekends or during the holidays, So they need to space out because some teachers have about 40 letters to write. And that's a lot, teaching full load and writing your letters. So give them the courtesy to that time for them to plan out when they can write you the great letter that you would like. Okay, for public colleges, the 2 sites that generally for our student is csumentor.org. It's just open on October. You can start working on it, as well as the universityofcalifornia.edu. They have online tutorials to help you step by step how to do that. Last year, Mary had someone come out from UCs to troubleshoot some answer questions. But the online sources are excellent. They really answer the questions. If you have any questions additional to that the online source can't give you, there's phone numbers too that you can contact. Do not wait till Thanksgiving weekend. I know that the thing really to apply for Cal States or UCs are November 1st to November 30th. Do not wait because it is a mass online application too, and their server crashes, and it have taken stories about students have taken 12 hours to actually submit it because it won't go through because everyone's doing during Thanksgiving weekend. It's open October. Start working on it. If you could send it as early as November, Great, right? You do not need letters of recommendation for public schools as a general rule. But those of you guys who want the Regents programs or like the alumni like scholarship things, or you want to even go be an honors program at a Cal State, they do require letters. Okay? I will be willing to write the letters, but the best person to write those letters is one teacher, because the type of questions they ask specifically focus on your academic ability. Okay? But it will require one letter if you're going to go to those honors programs. Also, you do not need to send a transcript unless that school notifies you. They will send you by email saying, we want your transcript. Otherwise, you just self-report all your grades. Do not be alarmed or feel like, oh, they're targeting me. It's just random selection who they ask to send the transcript. All of you guys will have to send a transcript anyways, the final transcript of a high school transcript. But some of you guys want to have your 9th through 11th grades initially when you apply, okay? And it's random draw, who they select. I don't know the random reason. And they also do random selections of verifications. They will send us emails, like to me, saying, did this student really participate in this activity? Is this aspect about their life true? They just do random checks of students. I think it's like 3 to 5%. I don't know how they do it and why they select it, etc. To enable teachers to send it Naviance, these are the directions. It's just very easy. It looks like this. And right below the add colleges list is just add teacher recommendations too. That's what it's going to have. Be to add your teachers. I would like to say, if you ask 2 teachers to write the letters, please ask the same 2 teachers. Don't ask 2 teachers from this college, 2 teachers from that college. Don't make it their workload more than it needed to be, okay? Just ask the same 2 teachers. We've had that too. And the teachers get really offended when you ask multiple teachers for just when you need only 2. Test scores. We don't send any test scores official. You need to ask or request it through collegeboard.org or ACT. And finally, if there's any paper forms to fill out, please include our general information as much as possible. This is our information. We'll have it on, as well as check the school profile to help us out. Because us filling it out, when we used to do everything by paper, like, for example, when I used to do the USC and it was all only paper, it would take me a week to fill out my name, my phone number, just for the 108 applications. Just a week. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So if every individually students wrote down things that was paper, it would cut down the time. Okay? Great. Thank you. Thank you.